this is Courtney. Welcome back to my channel where we're talking about books and bookish things and all of the things that are happening in my life and things I want to share with you all. So for today, yes, March TBR, to be read. I was finishing up The Marriage of Opposites by Alice Hoffman last night and I was like already thinking about March even though it was barely February. So I decided to film this a little bit early since I just love knowing what's coming up. Like I like thinking ahead and getting excited about months to come. March will be interesting since this is leading up to when I go to London with my boyfriend, my brother, and sister-in-law to run the London Landmarks half marathon. Fingers crossed that it's still going to happen. As far as I know, today, as of I think it's February 11th, the UK has lifted restrictions in terms of not needing to get tested for COVID if you are fully vaccinated, which all of us are. So that is very exciting. We still need to provide like vaccination information and like a passenger locator form and some other stuff like that. But in terms of testing, like that was one thing we were super nervous about, is if like we make all these plans and then one of us somehow tests positive, they are not going to be going on this trip. Who we might all not be going on this trip, I don't know. So I mean, like we'll probably still get tested just for our own sakes, just to know what's going on, but at least it's not like required to go into the UK. As of getting back into the US, I'm not sure what that process is like going to be at that time. I think as of right now it is, you still have to test if you were a US citizen. I think it's a little bit more lenient. I can't remember. I'll have to look up the details. But if people out there know who've traveled internationally and come back to the US as US citizens, fully vaccinated, let me know what the issue or the restrictions or protocols are for that. So yes, that's going to be very exciting. So like as I'm reading, I'll be getting like pumped up, finishing my training for the half marathon. Hopefully it'll be getting warmer out and going to more coffee shops and things like that. What else is happening in March? Not much else that I can think of besides just like normal volleyball, taking fun spin classes at the gym, doing my peak challenge, which is a Sam Hewen like workout experience and like lifestyle change for a more healthier lifestyle, and then reading, of course. I feel like I'm forgetting something for March, but I know like I'm not going anywhere until like the trip. Like that was the thing in my mind. I'm like, oh, I know I'm not traveling until March, the end of March, early April. So yeah, I'm hoping that there's no other books that I buy, because as you'll see for today, I'm aiming for books that are currently on my shelves in terms of print books, and then I will have like audiobooks that I have been on my queue forever, or I've been waiting for to come off my queue from Libby forever as well. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else for March to look forward to. Like St. Patty's Day, which is a thing. It is Women's History Month, which is a big thing, and I'll do my best. At least 2 of the books on my TBR are women or female authors, so that I feel pretty good about, and then we'll see how the other ones come. And yeah, if anything else I'm missing for March, let me know. I feel like I'm filming this so early in February that I don't even know much about what's happening in March. I just knew I wanted to get my books figured out by then. So anyway, there's that intro. So for my TBR, I had already stated that I want to do my TBR jar. This is my TBR jar. All of my books, sans the ones I've just bought or added to my collection, have been written on small pieces of paper, folded up, and put into this jar. So very fun, colorful, yay. So I have put all of them that have been that are unread on my shelves. The ones that are currently read on my shelves, they're not going in here because I don't plan to do any rereads as of right now for March. So these will be books that will be new to me in terms of reading for the first time. If I pick out a book in a series that's not the first book, or I haven't like read the last book before that book that I pick out, I will read the book that comes before it, or whatever the first one is, and find that one later in here. I'm not going to dig through it just to find it, but I want to honor picking that book series itself, even though it's not the first book. So that's kind of my own rule. And then I feel like I'm going to pick out maybe 3 to start with, because I already have 2 picked out that I need to read. Actually, I have 3 I need to read this month for various reasons, and I will explain what those are. So maybe I'll start with 3 here, and then as the month goes on and I finish those, hopefully I will pick more as to see how many more days left of the month that I have before I have to film my wrap up and then jump on a plane to go to London. So yes, should be interesting. I am excited. This is like kind of like nerve-wracking, since with all my other reading challenges and like TBR games, I have some kind of freedom over it because they're prompts, and I can think about those prompts in different kinds of ways, and there can be multiple options for that prompt. This is like, no, like this is the book you're reading. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is it. So it's a little scary, but I don't know, I'm excited because it's going to push me outside my comfort zone. A lot of books in here are ones I've had on my shelf for years, so I think this is very much needed. In terms of the books that I need to read for this month, the first one is A Little Life by Hanya Hanigihara, and this is one I'm doing a buddy read with my friend Aaron on Instagram. We both are like, we need to commit. We need to just do it and knock it out, because it's, I've heard it's very emotional, very like taxing, and it's also very, very thick with very small print, and will just be a lot on our brains and our hearts and minds. So I am excited for this, nervous for this, but I'm glad to have somebody to read alongside with. So this will be my first buddy read, like with just one person. If others are interested, let me know. Like I'm sure we can probably expand it out, but at least we know 2 of us are doing it together. So yeah, oof. I am not ready, but I will be ready to read this. And then I'm not a fan of leaving books unfinished on my shelf. I'm either going to like restart them at some point or DNF them for good and donate them. This, like, I just want to jump back into it. I've been reading this since, was it October? Early fall, I think, because we were down in Tampa and I'd started it there after I finished The Maidens by Alex Michaelides, I don't know, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, and I had only gotten to this part in the book. So whatever page that is, chapter 12, page 202. And so this is The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. This is the sequel to The Poppy War, the 2nd book in the trilogy. I really just want to knock it out because it's so rich with like Asian history, even though it's told in a high fantasy sci-fi kind of world. There's a lot of like themes and symbols of Asian history here, and I've just been digging a lot more into that lately and want to continue that journey for myself. There's also a Poppy War readathon happening on Twitter, and I'm like, oh, I want to get in on that so bad. So I think at this point, they just finished the Poppy War. I think February will be for Dragon Republic, so I'm already going to be behind, but that's okay. I will finish this hopefully in March, hopefully the beginning of March, so I could just have it done and then jump into the 3rd one, which is The Burning God. So, and then she has another one coming out called Babel, I think in April. So they have nothing to do with each other. I just want to be done with the series so I can read something else by her. So those are the 2 that I know I need to read that I have right now. The 3rd one for the late night book club. Okay, so the late night book club is like a fun book experience with 3 booktubers, 2 that are in California, I think in the San Francisco area, and then 1 in Wales. And they just do like these live shows every month based off a book they collectively read, and they have a Discord channel for other readers like me who want to discuss, and then they can do a live chat while the folks are streaming online on whatever day that is for that month. So February is the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. So I think that is a sci-fi? Oh, an epic fantasy. And I think that's a series too. So that'll be March. I think I'm either gonna get that on ebook or audio. I don't think I'll get a physical book like purchased or for the library or anything. I think ebook or audiobook will be good for that. Maybe that'll be one I can read on the plane to London or like to wrap up the month. I'm not sure yet. So those are the 3 that I need to get done. So without further ado, wish me luck. I can barely even shape this because there's so many in here. So once I pick it, I will go grab it wherever it is on my shelf and bring it so you can see what it is. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Okay, and I'll try to show you first. what it is. There we go. The Woman in Cabin 10. Ooh, okay. I don't even know who that's written by. All right, so we have first book, feeling good so far. The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. So this was given to me by one of my former students, actually. We like traded books a lot during his last year in university, and then like my last year, or my second to last year working at that job. So yeah, I think it's a thriller. Let's read the synopsis. So let's see. In this tightly wound, enthralling story reminiscent of Agatha Christie's works, Lo Blacklock, a journalist who writes for a travel magazine, has just been given the assignment of a lifetime. A week on a luxury cruise with only a handful of cabins. The sky is clear, the water's calm, and the Vineyard select guests jovial as the exclusive cruise ship, the Aurora, begins her voyage in the picturesque North Sea. At first, Lo's stay is nothing but pleasant. The cabins are plush, the dinner parties are sparkling, and the guests are elegant. But as the week wears on, frigid winds whip the deck, gray skies fall, and Lo hears what she can only describe as a dark and terrifying nightmare, a woman being thrown overboard. The problem? All passengers and crew members remain accounted for, and so the ship sails on as if nothing has happened, despite Lo's desperate attempts to convey that something or someone has gone terribly, terribly wrong. With surprise twists, spine-tingling turns, and a setting that proves as uncomfortably claustrophobic as it is eerily beautiful, Ruth Ware offers up another taut and intense read in The Woman in Cabin 10, one that will leave even the most sure-footed reader restlessly uneasy long after the last page is turned. Okay. Cool. Yes. I'm digging thrillers a lot more recently, and I think I like the speed of them. I like my heart racing, edge of my seat kind of feel for these. So this I think is a great selection and different from the other two I have here. So I guess the 4 books so far. We have thriller, contemporary, high fantasy, and then I guess the other one is epic fantasy as well. So yay, something different. I like it. All right. Number 2. All right. Tidelands. Oh gosh, why didn't I write the author name on it? All right, so we have Tidelands by Philippa Gregory. So this, I think I got, this was either in a Little Free Library or gifted in like this coffee and books box that my brother and sister got me like 2 years ago. I honestly can't remember, but yes, my battery's about to die, so excuse me if this dies while I'm speaking and the camera changes, but we're gonna go for it anyway. So here's the synopsis. England, 1648. It's a dangerous time for a woman to be different. Midsummer Eve, 1648, and England is in the grip of a civil war between renegade king and rebellious parliament. The struggle reaches every corner of the kingdom, even to the remote Tidelands, the marshy landscape of the south coast. Eleanor, a descendant of wise women trapped by poverty and superstition, waits in the graveyard under the full moon for a ghost who will declare her free from her abusive husband. Instead, she meets James, a young man on the run and shows him the secret ways across the treacherous march, not knowing she is leading disaster into the heart of her life. Suspected of possessing dark secrets in superstitious times, Eleanor's ambition and determination mark her out from her neighbors. This is a time of witch mania, and Eleanor, a woman now without a husband, skilled with herbs, suddenly enriched, arouses envy in her rivals and fear among the villagers who are ready to take lethal action into their own hands. Ooh, and then they have like a map in the front cover as well, or inside the front cover pages. Interesting. Okay. So this is is this like historical fiction, I guess? Okay. Oh yeah. Yep. So there we go. It's fun so far. Very like ominous blue-gray kind of theme going on here. Did not plan that, obviously. Okay, last one. Ooh! Mr. and Mrs. FITZWILLIAM Darcy. Ooh! Where is it? All right, here it is. This is actually perfect since I'm going to England, so that's kind of fun that I picked out unintentionally an English book. My battery just died right in the middle of that sentence, so I had to go charge it real quick. I don't know where I left off, but here was the recent pick from the TBR Jar, Mr. and Mrs. FITZWILLIAM Darcy by Sharon Lathan. So this, I think I was saying it would be perfect for when I'm traveling to England and like getting into that spirit and everything. I'm not sure. I'm still working on our itinerary for London. And in terms of like the historical stuff, not much is dedicated to like the Victorian or the Regency era. I know in Westminster Abbey, that's where Jane Austen is buried, I believe. and some other like fame. I think Shakespeare is buried there too. I don't remember. So maybe reading this will inspire me to look up some other things if it is London based, but I know that's like not where they are in the story. They are in Pemberley. So this is Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice continues. The only other book that was related to Pride and Prejudice, not written by Jane Austen, was it Mr. Darcy Takes a Bride? Oh gosh, it was told in Mr. Darcy's perspective, and I actually had an interview with the author of that book. I will link that below in the description if I remember to do that, but it was just super interesting to know if in some kind of way what Darcy was thinking. So it went through a lot of similar plot points in Pride and Prejudice, but through Darcy's eyes, and like a lot of things that we didn't see because Darcy like kept to himself, and like we only saw him, I believe, when Lizzie saw him. So there you go. So this one, here we go. A honeymoon can last a lifetime. Beginning on their wedding day. Oh, fun. Pride and Prejudice's Darcy and Elizabeth are two people who are deeply in love with one another and are excited to begin their marriage. Their courtship was tempestuous. Misunderstandings and misgivings nearly tore them apart. But now that they've seen each other without prejudice, their trust, attraction, and delight in each other grows with every passing day. Both are inexperienced and innocent, sharing moments of shyness and boldness as they discover the kinds of intimacies that a newlywed couple shares. As their love story unfolds, they reveal their innermost secrets and feelings, embracing each other in a marriage filled with romance, passion, humor, and drama that will keep them spellbound. That will keep you spellbound. Okay, well, I'm not sure if this is written in the same kind of prose or like style as Jane Austen. It doesn't need to be. Obviously, since this is a different take, a different perspective, different angle, a continuation to some degree, written many, many years after the first one. So there's going to be some differences, but I'm hoping that they keep loyal to the style and the era as much as possible. So this was in 2009, this was written. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I think it should be fun. I've had this and like I'm looking at them now, 6 other books like this that I haven't touched. I was like in a really big Regency era Jane Austen Pride and Prejudice phase, I believe in late high school, and my mom bought me all of these books as my as my wish list had them on there. So it's about time I got to them, however many years later, 18 years later from when I had initially bought them. Well, 2009. This was written 2009. It's 2022. What is that? 13 years later. So, right? Oh my gosh. I used to be really good at math. So some time ago, I had gotten these on my shelf from my wish list, from gifts. So appropriate to be jumping into them now right before I go to London. All right. So that was more exciting than I thought. I'm wanting to pick another one, but I'm nervous again since like this is already a lot. I was thinking Dragon Republic I'm almost done reading, but A Little Life is a chunky book. The last month, or in January, I didn't finish all the books on my TBR, and I was kind of beating myself up about it. I think I left 3 books off, so I'm nervous that I won't be able to get to it, but it's kind of fun to see. I need to not give into temptation, because then if I like pick it and have some kind of emotion towards it and then don't get to it, or read that ahead of the ones I already picked, I think that's kind of messed up. I don't know. Like I want to stick with these, even though I'm really wanting to know what would be fate is showing me what would be next. I'm gonna hold off. I can't remember what April is gonna hold for me in terms of any reading challenges. I don't remember. Maybe that'll be the next time I pick this, but I just couldn't wait. And I will cut myself off there. So in terms of the books that I'll be reading, here are all of them. FITZWILLIAM and Darcy kind of threw off the balance there, but they're kind of, I guess it's in the middle. It has a balance of blue, grays, something metallic, and then blues and grays again, leading down to the bottom. And then the 5th season, the cover, I think I had shown it already, is for the ebook will be like a greenish turquoisey color, so not really fitting in there, but it's a cooler tone compared to, I guess, the metallic of this purple. I don't know. Well, it looks on the screen, it looks, well, I guess it does. It's like a pearl or like a pastel-y color. I don't know what that would be in like metallic sense. So yes, that is my TBR for March. How exciting. I will write this up in my reading journal and then get excited. And well, I need to read February's first. I still have some fun romance reads and some Black History Month books to read for that. And then we'll be getting into spring. Oh, I guess that's a big thing. March has the spring equinox. Is it the vernal equinox? Is that the official term for it? So I think it's March 20th or 21st. That's exciting. Warmer weather. And then, daylight savings happens, even though you lose an hour, right? You spring forward, you spring ahead, so I'm losing an hour. And then there's also, I think there's Mardi Gras? No. I don't know when Easter is this year, so I think Mardi Gras might be in March with like Ash Wednesday and kind of things, and Lent, so I need to figure out what I'm doing for that. That's another thing I should think of. Okay, well, that's the addition to what I had said in the beginning of, oh yeah, like, is there anything happening in March? Let me know. I kind of let myself know, but if there's other things, yes, please comment below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. It was a little chaotic as I was trying to find books on my shelves that I couldn't remember who the author was, and they are all in alphabetical order by author's last name. At least I knew what the covers looked like, or the spines at least, so that kind of helped me out for finding those on my shelves. So yes, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a thumbs up or comment down below with some books that you're looking into for March, or if you've ever done a TBR jar before and let the fates decide what books you'd be reading. I'd love to hear more about that. If you want to subscribe, feel free to do that, or hit the notification bell to know when I post next, usually once a week, as this is probably coming out the third week in February. Next week should be a recap of my blog retreat, which is going to be, no, I'm not going anywhere. It should be just in a few coffee shops and me just like planning out different pieces of what my blogging experience I want it to look like, what my branding should look like, things like that. So yeah, I'm going to head to lunch now, which is a run, as I'm still training for the London half marathon. So yeah, thanks again for watching. I hope you have a great day and happy reading.